Hey everybody, so this week's speed drawing is featuring Hearts Decay's character Veron, and he is a particularly nasty looking little guy. He looks like he has quite the attitude. I'm trying to sketch out just a pose for him. I did my video different this time. I recorded me drawing him. I kind of kept the entire process so you can even see like my mistakes and me going back and forth and resizing and all that other fun stuff. It gives me a little bit more of a video that I can talk over, and while it's drawing I can answer a couple questions that I had. I would like to maybe move forward and have other kinds of topics or things to discuss. I'm really surprised that a lot of you seem to enjoy the sound of my voice. It's kind of odd to hear that. I've never been complimented by my voice. I've never really put myself out there for people to listen to me either, so there is that. Thank you everybody who left compliments. It's I have a hard time taking compliments, so it's kind of strange, but I'm glad that you guys aren't totally disgusted with my voice. So I have a few questions that I figured I would go over while I'm playing my drawing here. So, Exodus Denied sent this question. What were the first subbreeds created and what were they? It is if you have the knowledge or just remember your own first encounter with them. The first subbreed that I remember is actually the Saber Wajas. I don't know if that was the actual first subbreed ever, but I know it's one of the older ones. I believe I had one or two on my own. I had a couple of Wajas named, I think, Shamrock and Asia that were kind of similar, but they might have just had the belly spots and the back spots. I don't know if they actually had the mane and the saber fangs and everything, but yeah, that's probably the first one my mind goes to when I think of subbreeds. I'm not super knowledgeable of the subbreeds that are currently existing on the site. I definitely think they're really cool, and I want to try to get more features going for subbreeds and to encourage people to breed and have breeding projects versus just designing characters, which, don't get me wrong, designing characters is fun and there are so many talented people on the site. It's always amazing to see the creations that people come up with, but I would also like to put some focus on breeding, and the first step to that was creating our lovely guilds. So, we released that this week, or last week it was. So that's kind of like the first step into having a club and making things a little bit more official, and it kind of opens the door for the next stuff that we're planning for subbreeds that I think will be a lot of fun, and we'll kind of give everybody goals and things to work towards, and maybe even some spotlight opportunities for people to show off what they've been working on, prizes that people can win, maybe even a leadership board. So we have a lot of stuff in the works for subbreeds. I believe this person said their name was Answers. This question was, is there any type of accessory or marking mutation that you really want to implement, but the coding is so finicky, difficult, or doesn't work or looks good that makes it impossible to put it in? Like extra legs or things like that. One thing that I wish I could do is give you varieties of ears or tails that you could have, or maybe even fur length or leg length. I think those could be really fun. I just have no idea how we would do it. Maybe cutting those pieces off and making them separate layers and being able to swap things around, but that might really complicate things. I'm not sure, but I've always thought it'd be kind of cool to change up those things and really amplify the types of custom options that we offer on Wajas. Be kind of like a Bane with a docked tail, or a Divine with floppy ears. There would be a lot of possibilities if we were able to figure out how to smoothly introduce that type of feature. Bellamy of Foy asked, do you have any tips for how to create a theme for them? Asking any tips for doing like backgrounds, midgrounds, foregrounds, and then they expressed how backgrounds and landscapes can be kind of difficult for them. If you think about landscapes, it's not just grass and trees. There's rocks, there's streams, there's pebbles, there's different types of plants, wildflowers, ferns, different types of trees and clouds, and there's a ton of detail out there, a ton of things that you really have out there, and it could take forever to draw everything, so you kind of have to nitpick a little bit depending on your time restraints. But I try to actually focus on those little details. If there's interest, I wouldn't mind putting together some kind of tutorial. I got a few people saying that they enjoyed my little explanations on how to draw the earth on the last video, so I could certainly put something together. Maybe that would be something to focus on with this channel, as tutorials or suggestions or things. And I certainly don't claim to be an expert at art or any of these things, but if I can help, I would love to offer any kind of assistance that I can. And the last question I have for this video is from Clanable. Clanable said that they use smudge tools so much that they can't figure out a good smudge brush in Procreate. Kind of turns them off of the program. Have I found any good brushes that I can recommend for blending? I'm still really impressed with Procreate. Like, I only think I spent $10 on it. It's really affordable. It's got a ton of options. It's very comfortable feeling to me anyways. The nice thing about the smudge tool is you have the same brushes you have for when you're drawing or erasing. So if you're doing fur, you don't have to stay on like the round brush for fur. You can actually grab the fur brush and erase with fur texture, a rock texture, or one of those different types of brushes, like the oil one that I liked that I explained in the previous video. So you can experiment with other brushes and see what kind of gives you the effect that you're looking for. Definitely don't let that turn you off though. Procreate is a really fun program. I'm really enjoying it, and I think there's a lot that can be done with it. Apparently you can also animate in it. I might have to try to figure out how to do that. I think that could be a lot of fun. Another thing that I have been trying to figure out is a way to make it possible that all the backgrounds that I've created for these drawings can be turned into wallpapers on the site. My thought was maybe people who have commented can get the opportunity to get those, because I do appreciate everyone that's made the effort to hop over here and leave comments and support. It's really appreciated. If I'm able to somehow return the favor, I would love to be able to do that. I think that it would be really cool to have that bridge between the site and YouTube and the connection there, and it would be pretty fun to bring those wallpapers over and be able to use them on the site. I know that a lot of you have requested that. I've definitely seen those suggestions and those comments in the videos, so I'm going to see if I can make it a reality and have it happen. I would love to be able to give that to you guys. Also, huge apologies. I'm sure there's all kinds of noise in the background. Our house is such a busy place. The kids are fortunately sleeping, however the cat and the bird are not, so there's lots of noises there, and I've had to record a few things, and I've tried to edit out what I could. Hopefully it's not going to be painful on your ears. I definitely think that going forward, if I continue doing the talking videos, that I will try to set up a place in the house that I can record in silence, so you don't have the darn cat playing with his ball in the background. Or have the parrot in the background practicing her opening door and closing door sounds, or turning on the microwave, and or other household sounds that she's managed to master. She's trying her hardest to get my attention right now when she's supposed to be sleeping. So you guys already know about the guilds. We released that last week. I'm trying not to spoil any details. There are a couple things that we're working on that I'm not sure if you guys have been made aware of or not. So I want to be careful what I say and make sure I don't spoil that stuff. But, I could definitely discuss things that are not so much a secret, but things that are being worked on if you guys have questions about any kind of like behind the scenes stuff. I did ask our coder if he could code up a custom showcase, so when you create your custom, it will automatically be displayed on this showcase and give you some free advertisement, maybe help you gain some interest if you plan on selling puppies or offering studying or anything like that. I think it would be a lot of fun, and it'd be really cool to follow along and see kind of where the current styles are going, or like what's popular, if zebra stripes are in for some reason, or if there's any kind of trends or anything like that. So it'd be kind of cool for me, even, because then I can stop saying, oh, I don't follow this or I don't follow that. I would like to be a little more aware of those types of things in the community and everybody's projects. Guess I'm gonna have to start wrapping this up though, because my husband's in here being a pest. He wants to say something. What do you want to say?
Something.
Thanks for your contribution to this video. I'm sure they will love hearing that. So now he's just gonna sit here and stare at me like a creep. And I've kind of totally lost what I was trying to discuss. Stop. Stop it. They can't see this stuff. And I'm totally going to leave all that. You can see the crap I have to deal with every single day. I have a troll of a husband. Staff can tell you too that he's kind of a pain sometimes. He actually has a character on the site that represents him. Stinky Fox. I believe he is in the Waja Park. That represents my husband because he's a troll and he deserves to be called a Stinky Fox. Of course, no offense if you have a fox persona. I'm sure you're not a Stinky Fox, but he is. So there's not much left to this video. There's, I'm just kind of doing the rocks that you can see up there using some of the textures that I had showed you guys in the previous video. This night's been kind of derailed. I don't really know what else to talk about. My husband kind of ruined all that. But yeah, so there's the video doing the rocks and stuff. The rocks could use quite a bit more detail, but I was running out of time and I wanted to make sure I was going to get this video up for everybody Wednesday morning. My goal is to have the videos up by 8 a.m. Wajas time, Eastern time. So that's been kind of my daily goal. I don't know if I'm going to continue it after October. I was trying to do the whole Inktober thing, but we'll see how it goes. I would love to continue doing these, at least even if it's just like a quick one in the morning, just like a quick scribble with some music or something, or maybe some challenges. I did the 10-minute or 10-second, 10-minute challenge. That was a lot of fun. I do enjoy those quick drawings where you have a set amount of time that you have to complete the drawing. And of course that was the time that the cat decided to go crazy and run around the house and make all kinds of noise. So I picked the best night to do this, I guess. So hopefully none of these sounds are super in your ear or loud or anything. The cat just came crashing through the room. So yeah. So that's just a small window into my everyday, I guess, with all the noises and chaoticness of the animals. And maybe next time I could try to record this with the children. This video here might not seem quite as bad when there's a bunch of kids in the background, being kids. My 2-year-old and my 6-year-old doing what they do best, making noises or yelling, playing, what kids do. In all seriousness, I will try to set up something in another room where there's not a lot of stuff going on in the background, not a lot of interruptions or noises, so the audio is not as crazy and loud and unpredictable. I don't know if everyone's going to appreciate this, but I figure, this, unfortunately, this is my life and this is me. We have these crazy things here and the animals going crazy, so I'll definitely try to set up something in another room where there won't be all the noises and everything. I'm talking in circles now. So hopefully the audio will improve going forward. And we'll see how you guys like this video or this style of video. I'm constantly changing things and just experimenting and trying to see what works best for me and maybe what you guys like more. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'd love to answer what I can, so long as it's not too personal. There were a couple questions that I had to avoid. They were a little too personal. But, if I can offer any help with art stuff or maybe give any insight on things that aren't super secret, just let me know and I will see what I can explain. Oh, and in the video I had to move those talons on the other side of his feet. Typically when someone draws a raptor, they have those big claws on the inside, but this guy, his claws are actually his pinky toe. I had to correct that, so that just was kind of a quick edit to get that in there and then make sure that I had the correct representation for his character design. Then I went through and I wanted to try to hide that line art a little bit. The artwork here is even different than what I did last time. I'm always changing things and trying out different things for this, so not every piece is created exactly the same. But here I was just trying to hide the line art, and I try not to have line art in my artwork. I like how it looks without the line art. I like to try to use my skills in shading and highlighting to make things pop out so I don't have to depend on that line art. It's been kind of a skill that I've been working on, like a personal skill that I've been working on for a long time now. So I kind of just go to that now. Even to the point where sometimes I don't like the line art because I just don't feel like I can get a nice pretty line art. One of our artists, Air, she does really pretty line art. One of these days I gotta poke her in her brain and kind of see what her method is and maybe steal it. Yeah, I need to figure out how to do introductions and endings to these. It's just kind of weird to start it off with, hey guys, because everybody does that on YouTube. It just kind of seems like it's been beaten into the ground over and over and over again. But I don't really know what an alternative would be. We don't really have a term for our community, I guess. Wajas, which doesn't sound all that great when you say it out loud. Writing it out, it's not too bad, but saying it out loud is kind of odd. Unless it was like the Wajas. Even then, it's kind of weird. But this next little clip here is just a very quick speed run. It's like a 30-second clip. I figured I'd throw that in and try to figure out how to give a link so that if someone doesn't want to watch the whole mess that this video is likely going to become, they could just skip right to the end and see the speed draw and still kind of be able to see the process but not have to go through the 18 plus minutes or however long this video turns out to be, to see all the individual steps in the process. Everything kind of goes together so much faster, and that was one of the questions people had too, was, you know, how long it takes for me to do these, and on average it's like an hour, but this kind of gives you a good idea too of the process. Though watching over this as I'm editing it, it might have taken a little bit longer than an hour. It might have had maybe a couple of hours. Next time I'll have to record just my time just to kind of see if I'm being accurate or not. Maybe it's taking longer, I don't know. Either way, if you guys have any suggestions on how I could start these videos and how to end them, let me know. It'd be pretty cool to come up with some kind of custom thing that's relevant to our community. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will chat with you guys soon.